Tuesday morning, and we are going to be wrapping up all the hurricane prep. So no good news at this point. I watched the 11 p.m.s and the 5 a.m. updates, and nothing really that makes me go like, we're good, don't have to do anything. So Ben and I are going to be doing final wrap up and then packing up and leaving today. So that's what we're going to do. So we've done all the breakfast and taking care of the dogs, and children are being sent away with their stuff, and so now Ben and I can just focus on wrapping up this house. And I guess for some of those watching this who are getting a little anxiety watching it, one, don't watch if it's giving you anxiety, but two, also I just want to remind you, when I'm filming this, and then it's usually like at least a day ahead of time of when you're seeing it, so you're not seeing it as I'm doing things. So for those who are like, don't you know this thing is, we know this new piece of information, it's like, well, I know it now, but not now in the video now. So I hope your prep is going really well. I hope you guys are safe right now, and that if you're watching this, that you're in a safe place and are just enjoying and biding the time, because that's one of the big things about hurricanes is it's hurry up and then wait. And I'm very, very, very familiar with this growing up on the East Coast. That's where I actually grew up, was in the Broward County area. So I am very used to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. But one thing, the good thing about the bad thing, I know I was trying to find silver linings and stuff, is that because the storm and the cloud coverage is already starting to hit, it's 10 degrees cooler, to the point that when I was walking the dogs early this morning, I was like, I think I need a jacket. So that's going to make prepping the rest of this a little bit nicer. As much as hurricane prep can be nice, it'll make it nicer. So let's get into it. Let's start wrapping this all up. Has generally been empty, except it keeps growing firebush in it. So if I lose all my fire bushes, bam, small nursery. So I'm going around, I'm grabbing all my hanging stuff first, because once we start moving all the bigger stuff underneath, then it'll make it harder to get to those hooks. So hanging stuff first, plus any odds and ends that I see that are small. So one of the things we're thinking about is how are we going to store the items in here, because when we finally lock up the house and when we have to get back into the house, we have to go through the side door of the garage and come in through here. That will be our only way in and out of the house. So we need to make sure we leave a very clear path to that door, and then with evacuating, getting the last of like luggage and stuff out, instead of going all the way around, we'll leave a path here open, at least until all that stuff's out, and then we'll have to decide whether we need all that space or not. This is why I spent the time organizing, because you just don't know until you start putting everything in. So the more you can try to give yourself options, so that as you're making decisions at the end, like, it works out okay. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So next up is, I think we're gonna do the VEGEGA bed, then we'll move in the furniture, so the biggest pieces first, get those kind of settled, and then we'll move all the odds and ends in after that. One upside down on top of that. If you listen past all the sirens, you can hear lots of birds chirping right now. Hopefully they're stocking up so they can weather the storm. I know a lot of people talk about it gets quiet right before the storm, but we're still so far out. All the birds are still chirping. But we got everything inside. Woo! Check that off the list. So let's take a look at the patio. Empty. And part of me wants to clean it, like sweep it, but not smart. Not smart at this point because all it's gonna do is probably get sandy. But before we move stuff back in, give it a good sweep, give it a good clean. And then we've removed everything from out here. So that's great. So up next is going to be starting to close the shutters. And as we are wrapping up the exterior of the house, I just want to take a minute to say thank you to everybody who's been watching and coming along for the journey and been sending well wishes and prayers. My family and I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry I'm not getting back to most of the comments. It's pretty much, I'm working on this stuff and then I'm working on the video part of this. So once we're kind of hunkered down after we evacuate, I will spend some time thanking all of you guys because I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So don't worry, I am reading them all. I just haven't had time to sit down and just reply. So I can try to grab a couple here and there, but I just wanted to say thank you. So we've made really good progress. We finished loading everything up. We got all the shutters on. Yeah, we just went inside. We went through our checklist. I mean, we are really close to being done with all the things we need to be doing that caused me to sweat as I was staying to bed. What's left on the list that's going to cause me to sweat because I'd like to go jump in the shower. So our last thing is harvest. But the other reason I ran inside is because we just did our 11 a.m. update, and it looks like the track's moving a little bit further south of us, which would put us still in the storm, but more on the dry side, which would be a huge relief because Ben and I are not, I don't want to say we're not concerned about a category 3 storm hitting our house, but you know, we have the things that as a lifelong Floridian, you know, you want in a house, which is the cement build, the roof recently replaced. It's got like the triple nails in it and stuff like that. We've got the shutters and the hurricane grade windows. And so, you know, when it comes to just a structure that's good, we got a good structure. So if a building can withstand, this is the kind of building that can withstand. But it doesn't matter how good your building is if you got storm surge, which has been what's been the most concerning to us. So it looks like we might, be not in the realm of getting a storm surge here. Like it looks like that the time where it is surging, it's going to be low tide, and then we're going to be on the dry side of the storm. So we're hoping it's going to stay like that because, I mean, if we get 5 feet of water, I mean, you know, I'm 5'7", so it'll be here. There's not much we can do. I mean, even lifting stuff off the floor, if it's more than a foot or two, I mean, everything's going to be underwater. So I am really hoping we can stay on the dry side of the storm. I know it pushes it more towards some of my friends who live down in the Sarasota, Manatee County. So, you know, of course, we're thinking of them and hoping that they get time to prepare. So that's where we're at 11 a.m. So one of my final things to do outside is I got to go harvest. So let's harvest and let's get the food that may actually survive inside. Now, when going around, there's actually not that much for us to harvest, like the papaya. I know some people, if you have papayas, if they're green, you can eat them once they're past a certain point. Most of mine are too young to be able to be used green. We've used them green before. It's good use. Same with bananas. Bananas you can use like as a starch alternative. I know Marla was putting out that tip. Thank you, Marla. Our bananas are just, they're so young. To use them as a starch, we would have to wait until like another month from now. So nothing for the bananas. We're just going to leave them out here and let them do what they do. And so it's really going to be some pumpkins. I think I got a couple peppers, loofahs, and beans are going to be kind of my main harvest that I'm going to go knock out right now. So let's get to it. So not a huge harvest, but a solid harvest. We got some loofahs, some pumpkins, the beans. We'll talk more about these in the harvest video. Hopefully everything's good enough that I can go ahead and still do our September harvest video. But there were some tips people gave me. So I'm just pulling in 90% of the loofahs. I pulled in all the pumpkins, whether they were like that, or that. And then I collected all the beans, which some of them were past due for getting collected anyways. So it all worked out. So a solid harvest, I would say, right? We got loofahs, pumpkins, beans, and where are my peppers? Tiny bit of peppers. So I'll go over this more in the September harvest video, what I got, how much I got. But I was given a bunch of tips about loofah. I do appreciate everyone who's been giving me tips about loofah. And if you have more tips about loofah, give them to me, because I kind of harvested them whatever stage they were, from tiny and tender to, you know, starting to go yellow. So we'll experiment with them. It's my first round with loofah, so I'm not going to be devastated if things don't go perfect. But the more you guys help me, the more I can help others. So we'll be just we'll take the good thing, we'll make a good thing out of a bad thing, right? That's what we're all about. And then the pumpkins, you know, a couple of them here are a little bit on the early side, but I think they'll be okay. I left the stems really long on them so that can hopefully get whatever juices they need. And then some of the beans were overdue, some of them weren't. And when it came to the peppers, there's more peppers on the plant, but they're all really small. So if the plant survives, they aren't really like in a spot where they would be yanking hard on the plant, you know, if the winds are blowing around. If we lose the plant, we lose the plant. And they just really aren't big enough to warrant a harvest. I mean, they're so small. I'm just sitting here like, I mean, we're talking about a couple of more ounces of pepper. So I'll risk them and just say, like, you can survive. If you can survive Hurricane Ian, we shall eat you later. But if you don't. So I'm gonna get this inside. Actually, I'll probably just leave it. Yeah, I'll probably just leave this in the garage because we got to get going soon, and I'll process it later and figure out like how much is there and all that stuff. So I think this wraps up what I need to do outside, and now I can go take a quick shower and then start packing up to go to my parents. So we've wrapped up everything, and now I'm heading over to take the last load to my parents' place and then stay there for evacuation fun times with the family. So yay for that. Tomorrow I'm actually gonna have another video out. It's actually gonna be a tour of the Florida Native Plant Garden, a 1 month update, because it looks so pretty and I don't know what's gonna happen to it. So I figured why not do a really quick video on that and share it with you guys too. So look forward to that tomorrow. And if you're looking for more past hurricane fun of packing up the house, check out this, or my dad's tips on this. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.